Good morning, students. So, your subject for second year is network theory, and the prerequisites for these subjects are first BEE and second engineering maths 2. So, this you studied in SEM 1 and this you studied in SEM 2. So, what we require as a prerequisite for network theory from BEE? You started with simple Ohm's law, then KVL, and then KCL. These are very important for this course as well. Then you studied superposition theorem, Thevenin's theorem, maximum power transfer theorem, and Norton's theorem. This again we will study. This you studied for something called as independent sources. Apart, we'll study for independent sources, and with that we'll also study for something called as dependent sources. So what is the difference between independent and dependent sources? In independent sources, the current at any branch does not depend on the voltage or the current in other branch. But in dependent sources, what happens? The current in any branch may depend on the voltage or current source which is in the other part of the circuit. So this is called as dependent source. If you have not understood, we'll see this in detail later. So you don't worry about it. So these are the main things which we require. So this is from BEE. From engineering mathematics, you have studied something called as Laplace transforms. So these are very essentials in electronics as well. Why are they essentials? Because they can convert an entity which is in time domain to frequency domain. So why we have to go from time domain to frequency domain? The reason is very simple. If I have a signal, let's say, which is a sinusoidal signal, and it is in time domain. So this is t, this is x of t. So and it is continuously changing with time, so I will have a sinusoidal thing. If I take a transform of this and something called as Fourier transform, which you will study further, then this goes into frequency domain. This becomes x of f or x of omega. We get two peaks only. So if you have to study the signal in this domain, that is time domain, you have many variations. But if you go to frequency domain, you have only two peaks. Rest all is zero. So essentially it becomes very simple in frequency domain. So what we do is we usually convert the signals from time domain to frequency domain and again go back from frequency domain to the time domain because we find it simpler to work in time domain. I beg your pardon, it is simpler to work in frequency domain only, but we go back to time domain because we usually work in the time domain. That is the reason. So it is called as, then if we come back, it is called as inverse Fourier transform. Same way we have Laplace transform and inverse Laplace transform. That we'll study in, that application of Laplace transform we'll study in network theory. So these are the prerequisites. So the I'll start with the very basic concept, which is resistances. Now why I am taking this is, even though this is very basic, students usually make mistakes in solving the numericals because the concepts are usually not clear. So what is resistance? Resistance is a component which offers opposition to the flow of current. That is simple. So they can either be connected in series or parallel, right? So when our resistances say to be in series, if they have same current flowing through them, we say that they are connected in series. And what is the combination? R equivalent, it will be R1 plus R2. Now this is very important when a resistance is said to be in parallel. If I draw, anyone will say these two are connected in parallel. But what about this? Will you say this is in parallel? Or rather, this is in parallel. Let's say I give you the angle also. Are they in parallel? If you ask any person who is not an engineer, he will say this is in parallel. This he may say is in parallel, this he'll say not, it is not in parallel. But an engineer will say this is in parallel if he knows the concept. So why this is in parallel? For that you have to understand the definition of resistances in parallel. You have the two ends of two terminals of the resistor R1 and the two terminals of resistor R2. If you observe, this terminal is meeting at a common point, say A, and this terminal is meeting at other common point B. So when the terminals of the resistors are connected to a common point and other terminals of the same resistor are connected to other common point, then only they are said to be in parallel. So if you observe here, this terminal is connected to this common point and this terminal is connected to this common point. So this point is one and the same. So these are also in parallel. Very important thing. Okay. So if I take a simple circuit, draw it haphazardly, whatever comes to my mind. So if I ask you what are the combinations, this is R1, this is R2, this is R3, this is R4, this is R5, this is R6. So what can I say about R1 and R2? Are they in series? Let's see. If a current is coming from here, it will obviously get divided here. So same current is not flowing, though they are not in series. Are they in parallel? This terminal is connected to one common point. What about other terminals? They are not connected to a common point. Right? They are separated by a voltage source. So they are neither in series nor in parallel. So this might be the case that the resistors are neither in series nor in parallel. Let's talk about R3 and R4. These two terminals are connected to a common point and these other two terminals are connected here. But this is shorted. So R3 is parallel to R4. What about R5 and R6? Same current is flowing. If a current is coming from here, same will pass here. So R6 is series with R5. Now you can replace this by a single resistor. So it will be R5 plus R6. So consider these two terminals of the combination. This terminal and this terminal is connected to this common point. This terminal and this terminal is connected to this common point. So R4 is parallel with series combination of R5 and R6. So this is very important. Okay. So always remember, when a resistance is said to be in parallel, when one of the terminals of each resistor is connected to one common point and the other terminals are connected to other common point, then only they are said to be in parallel. Okay. So let's solve a simple problem based on this. So we'll have only 20 to 30 minutes lecture, at least at the start, because we are covering the basic concepts. So I hope you will be solving other numericals at your home for practice. So let's say I have to find the equivalent resistance RAB. Okay. So how shall we proceed? We have to find resistance between these two terminals, RAB. So always remember, you don't have to touch these points till the end, because you have to find resistances between them. Right? What is the simplest thing we can observe? First thing we observe is this is 3 ohms. These two are in series. Right? What else we observe? We observe these two terminals are connected to one common point. These two terminals are connected to other common point. So these are in parallel. Right? So we can draw the next part. So this 4 ohms as of now is as it is. This 4 ohms is here. We have 5 ohms here. I messed it up. This is 4 ohms, 4 ohms. This will be in series. So now how to, I didn't tell you parallel combination. What is parallel combination? 1 upon R equivalent equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2. Right? So this is 3. So what will we do? Usually you will do 1 divided by 3 plus 1 divided by 3 equal to. But what you have to do next? You have to again take inverse. You will have to do like this. Right? So this is your answer for 3 parallel with 3. So you observe it is just half of the resistors. So whenever two same resistors are in parallel, the value is directly half. You don't have to calculate. Instead of using 1 by 3, 1 by 3, what you can do is 3 inverse plus 3 inverse equal to again inverse. You get the same answer. This way you will avoid mistakes also. Okay. So this is 1.5. Then you have 3 ohms and 4 ohms. This is B, this is A. This combination is 5 ohms. So this is 4 ohms, this is 1.5 ohms, this is 5 ohms, this is 3 ohms, this is 4 ohms. This is not coming here. This is coming here. Right? So what is the next thing we observe? Then we observe these two are in series. This is A, this is B. So this is 3 ohms, this is 4 ohms. 4 in series with 1.5 will be 5.5 ohms. This is 5 ohms. And this is 4 ohms. So can I say these two are in parallel? This is the common point, this is the common point. 5.5 in parallel with 5.5. So 5.5 inverse plus 5 inverse inverse. 2.62. We'll draw it here. This is 4 ohms. This we have got 2.62 ohms. This is 3 ohms. This is 4 ohms. So these two are in series. So 5.62. You can skip a step here. So 5.62 is in parallel with 5 ohms. So 5.62 inverse plus 5 inverse inverse. We get 2.645. So we can approximate it to 2.65. So 4, 2.65, 4. This is B, this is A. This is A, this is B. 4, how much was it? 2.65, and this is 4. So finally what we get? All are in series. So 4 plus 4, 8, 8 plus 2, 10, and this will be then 10.65 ohms. Never forget to write the unit. I can afford to skip the units. You don't skip the units. You always have to mention units, else you will lose marks. So what is REB? 10.65 ohms. Right? So this is a very simple example. Let's try one example with a circuit. Let's say this is the circuit, voltage source of 10 volts. This is 5 ohms. This is 10 ohms. This is 15 ohms. This is again 5 ohms. This is 20 ohms. And this is 30 ohms. Right? The question is, reduce the circuit to a single resistor first, and then find current supplied by the battery. This sort of question you won't get in exam, but just for understanding we'll do it. Okay. So what we have to do? We have to reduce the circuit to a single resistor first. So what we have to do? We have to use reduction technique of resistances using series parallel techniques. So if you observe, directly see these two are in series, right? So next circuit, I'll draw it in this way. If you want, you can draw the resistor here also. It's one and the same. So 10 in series with 15 will give me 25 ohms. 5 ohms, 20 ohms, 30 ohms, 5 ohms. What can we say next? And thumb rule, as a thumb rule, what we can do? You always go from right to left while solving for resistances using series parallel reduction technique. Usually we do. Rarely we will go from left to right. What is the reason? The reason is simple, because we don't have any active component here. What are active components? The one which give power. So this is the active source here, active component. These are all passive components which don't give power. So we'll go from passive towards active. Next, what we can say? This terminal is going here and this terminal is going here. So they are connected to one common point. These two terminals are meeting here. So they are in parallel. So 25 parallel with 5. So again 25 inverse plus 5 inverse and uska inverse. So it is 4.1667. So I can take it as 4.167. Always consider at least 3 decimal places. So I will draw this. So this was how much? 4.167. 4.167 ohms. This is 20 ohms. This is 30 ohms. This is 5 ohms. This is 10 volts. Right? So what we can say, these two are in series. So 24.167. That will be in parallel with 30. So 24.167 inverse plus 30 inverse, again inverse. So 13.385. I am approximating to 3 decimal places. So 10 volts, 5 ohms, 13.385 ohms. So this is 5 ohms. So finally these two are in series. So no, this will be shorted. 18.385 ohms. This is 10 volts. Right? So what will be the current supplied by the battery? Let's say it is I. What is Ohm's law? V equal to IR. So I equal to V by R. So V is 10 volts. So 10 divided by 18.385. So how much you get? 0.5439, which can be approximated to 0.544. So current supplied by the battery is 0.544. So what is the unit of current? Ampere. So you have to write capital A. Remember, amps are not allowed. We use SI unit. SI unit of current is A. You either write A or you completely write amperes. Right? Similarly for volts, write capital V. Small v, if you write, it is wrong. Small v indicates it is dependent on time. This is a DC source, it is not dependent on time. Okay. So this is the basic of resistances in series and parallel. So just to revise, resistances are said to be in series if same current passes through them. So if you observe here, if these are 2 points A and B, same current I is flowing here. This is R2, this is R1. When they are said to be in parallel, this is A, this is B, this is R3, this is R4. These two terminals are connected to one common point, which is A. Other terminals of the same resistors are connected to other common point, which is B. So they are said to be in parallel. Okay.